Gerry Hamilton of ontexasfootball here with, I don't know if this is the world's young fastest man, maybe. That's Dillon Mitchell, CE King, class of 2028. Dillon, thanks for joining us today. Kind of tell everybody about yourself a little bit.
Man, Dillon Mitchell. I run 10-1 in the 100. Got 37 football offers and one of the fastest kids in the nation.
There you go. We're going to start with football, even though we're in the track season. Football, kind of talk about the season you guys had, man. I mean, a great season, a record season for CE King football. Kind of you reflecting back on that.
Well, I mean, it was a great season, best season I've ever seen from CE King. You know, I never really knew about CE King until I moved down here, but just coming out, be able to work out with Tim, Dion all season long and be able to go all the way to state, even though we did not win it, shoot, it was the best experience of my life.
How does that motivate all you guys? Because y'all were a young team. Y'all played 12 sophomores, I think, on varsity in games. So How does that motivate you guys?
I mean, since we are a young team, we're going to come back even stronger, faster than last year. So we're going to be more experienced than most teams that didn't make it that far in the playoffs or just aren't used to that type of work because we're real strong and real physical.
So 37 offers. Obviously, Texas is one of those offers. Before we get to your background, which obviously is Texas A&M, kind of your thoughts on University of Texas.
I mean, I've always been like a fan of Texas, but just not too big. You know, my parents are from A&M, but I've always known about them. Always known they were a great school, good at education, good at football, at just sports in general.
So then, now talk about your A&M background, so the Texas fans get to know that, who your father is, and he played at A&M.
Well, my dad went to A&M at DB. My mom was going to go to A&M for track, but she just took a education scholarship.
Yeah.
So they've been big Aggie. They met there and been together since then.
You said when you moved to the CE King area, Houston area, how long have you lived in the area?
Well, since my freshman year, I was on Mosity side near Marshall, but then I moved over here to CE King so I can have better competition and be able to work harder.
So as a football player, if we turned on your huddle tape and we were watching it, how would you describe your game, and who are you as a player?
I'd probably say I'm a shifty, small, but I play big, so it's just real explosive.
Yeah. And and we're going to get to track in a second. People know you're fast on a Friday night when they play against you. Mm-hmm. Do people still take the wrong angles? Do people understand?
I mean, people take great angles, but just I'm able to outrun the angles most of the time. So
do you save a gear for that?
Of course, got to.
When did you realize that you could be a top football prospect as well as track?
Well, I've always played football. I picked up track like 7th grade year. That's when I started taking it more serious. But I always thought I was going to be a big guy on the football field because I've always been one of the best on my football team.
So when did you realize you were not fast but super fast? When did you realize that?
My 8th grade year when I ran 10.4 going into 9th grade year.
Did that even surprise you? I mean, a person always knows they're fast.
Right.
But did that surprise you?
Nah, not really. No. I know my craft. I just trust my training.
Yeah. How long have you been training in track then?
Since 7th grade.
7th grade? Yeah. Who do you run AAU track with?
Track Houston, but I trained with my dog Danny McCray.
Danny McCray, who played at Westfield.
Danny McCray played at A&M. I don't know where he went to.
Played Westfield High School. Yeah,
right.
Played at A&M. Mm-hmm. So talk about the competitiveness as we transition the track here between football and track. Because there's a difference because you're more on your own in track.
Yeah, and football is all about being able to trust your quarterback, especially since I'm a receiver. I got to trust the O-line to block for the quarterback to be able to deliver at the right time so I can beat the DB. In track, I'm really just on my own training. So in the 100, it's really just one versus one. But I'm never really training to beat somebody else. I'm training to beat my past times.
So on track, for the fans that don't know, who maybe are more football fans and track fans, but most people know your name, talk about your best times in track last year.
Well, track, I ran some windy times, 10:07, 10:10. My win legal time was a 10:17, which was also the freshman national record, which I also set earlier in the season with a 10:35 at Texas A&M. Yeah,
and obviously the state track meet, that was a fast group of players, right? That's maybe a record for the fastest times overall.
For sure.
Kind of talk about that.
Well, I knew everybody coming into the meet. I knew everyone I had to worry about who was really fast, like Tate Taylor, Braden Williams. So I just knew that I had to be on my A game. But when I pulled my hip at regionals, I knew that it was going to be a struggle to be able to perform like I was already performing. So, but it was really a blessing from God to even run 10:17 with the pulled hip.
Yeah. So, did you accomplish all your goals last year in track?
Of course not. You can't really accomplish all your goals. I always wanted to break a record. So when I broke my record, I was happy. But I always wanted to do better than I was already running.
So when you run in 10-1 as a freshman, you could put some pretty lofty goals on the wall. Yeah. What's your lofty goal?
My lofty goal is like 10-0, hopefully 9-9 right now.
Yeah.
For the 200, probably go like 20.8 or lower. That's like my loft goal. But like my main goal for 200, like 20.4, 20.3.
So for people that aren't track guys, how do you approach that this season? I mean, there's a build-up, right? How do you approach that this season? Because I think you're just running relays and maybe the 4 today, right?
Yeah, today I'm running the relay 4x1 and the 400. But the real main thing about track is just more about speed endurance and football is about quick movements and being able to cut in and out your breaks. And football, you have to have, and track, you have to have like good form and be able to hold your speed for as long as possible. So
let me ask you this then. Has it surprised your parents how fast you are?
Of course not.
No, not at all.
Nope. My parents knew I had good genes, so they was like, all your speed come from us, and that's all we talk about at home.
So there's going to be possibilities, and we got more track to talk about, of going pro track out of high school if you want to do that on your current trajectory. Right. Arian Knight, a top receiver, did that a few years ago out of the Tampa area, is now limping in the 200. How do you balance that love for football in those possibilities in track?
Well, football has always been like my first love, so like I couldn't really just walk away from football just because I'm doing great in track, because I'm also doing just as well in football. So I don't know about just dropping football. I don't think I could ever just do that.
Have you been on any campuses? I'm sure you have, but for unofficial visits for football, Saturday games at all?
I went to 2 A&M games and 1 Texas game.
Okay, what Texas game did you go to?
They played, I think, maybe UTEP or UTSA.
Early in the season.
Yeah, early in the season.
UTEP game. What about A&M? What games were those?
A&M, I went to. They played Auburn.
Okay.
And I think they played UTSA.
Okay. There you go. And as a football player, how much better do you think you can get? And what position are people recruiting you as? Kind of a gadget offensive guy, slot guys? Is that kind of what people are telling you?
Yeah, people are recruiting me as like just someone that can move around the field, and also for special teams like kickoff return, because I am so explosive on kickoff return.
Yeah.
And they just expect me to play everywhere on the field. That's where I really want to play, honestly, anywhere I'm needed.
Does anybody challenge you to races anymore, or have they given up?
I mean, my homeboy challenged me to a race. Like my homeboy Chinwoke,
yeah,
he like the second fastest freshman of all time. He ran 10:18 in the state race. So I also trained with him, so he gave me like the hardest time probably out of everybody. You ran in a national indoor meet, I believe, a few weeks ago, right? What did you do in the 60? I ran 6:64. Okay. Which is the third fastest time, because I have the second fastest time with 6:63. Yeah. It was crazy out there, for real. What was the winning time in that race? 6:64. You won that race? I won that race. By how much? I won it by like a few steps. Okay, so you were up big on the top. So you have another big national meet coming up, right? Yes, sir. What is that one? I'm going to Blue Bonnet, which is at A&M, and then the week after that, I'll be at Nike Indoor. Nike Indoor, is that in Portland? Yeah, no, that's in New York. In New York. Oh, the indoor one. Yeah. Okay. Was that, what is what's the difference when you go to those meets? Is there a difference? Is it just a push against national guys? Is that the difference, really? Nah, not really. I don't really base my race upon who I'm racing against. I just like to have fun. So when I'm running fast, it's never really like who am I going against, how fast I have to run. It's just go out there, go do your thing all the time. So if you're not playing football and you're not beating people on the track, what do you do? What's the hobbies? What do you do? What's your shows? What's your go-tos? See, I like to listen to music. I like to listen to calm music. I like to listen to like Beyonce, R&B. I listen to like really anything. Nothing too loud. I like to play the game like a normal kid, watch TV, stuff like that. What are your games? What are your games? What do you play? I'm big on 2K, GTA. I'm also big on NCAA, but I got to get better at NCAA. Yeah. Were there any other sports you played growing up? I played soccer. Okay, I can see that. I played soccer, basketball. Yeah. Yeah, growing up. Okay, I'm going to ask you about each thing. What is it you love about football? Football, it's just like being dominant, because I've always like beating people and proving people wrong, especially since I've always been the smaller cat on the field. They always say, I'm not going to do this at the next level, and I always come out and perform. So that's really my favorite part. What is it you love about track? I mean, track is just fun. I just like to come out here and just mess around the track, because like everyone out here is like really funny or just overly serious, and I just walk around messing around with people all day, honestly.
What if I told you at in your senior year, end of your senior year, you ran a 9.92, and that was your personal record? Would you be satisfied, or would you say, I need to do better?
I feel like I could have done better because the projector I am right now, I'm hoping to at least end with a 9.8.
Yeah. What's your ultimate goal in track?
Honestly, just hold as many records as possible. That's really all I can say, especially with all the accomplishments I have right now.
What happens when you're faced with the ultimate decision of football or pro track?
I'm gonna see what it hits for. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna do what I do right now, and when I got to get to that moment, I'm gonna get to that moment. If
I gave you two options, last question with Dillon Mitchell, let's say the world's youngest and fastest man. Let's just call him that. I'm going to give you two options, and you have to pick one.
Right.
Super Bowl champion, fastest man in the world with Olympic gold in the 100.
I'm going to have to say fastest man in the world.
You got to be.
I got to be the fastest man in the world.
You can love football, but there's only one fastest man in the world.
There's only going to be one.
And a gold medal hangs around your neck forever.
For real.
Yeah. All right, that's Dillon Mitchell, CE King, sophomore, class of 2028, has 37 offers in football, including Texas A&M, where his father played, Texas, a number of other SEC schools, and we're going to see if he can bust that 10 flat this year. Thanks, Dillon.
Yes, sir.
Gerry Hamilton of On Texas Football here at Viger High with one of the top edge prospects in the country, JaBarrius Garror. First off, for the Texas fans that are going to get to know you in this interview, what's your updated height and weight?
I'm 6'2.5", 220.
Okay. And let's start with this. Let's start with football questions. You had first-year head coach last year. You guys made it all the way to the state championship. Congrats on that. Moody got you all at the end. But kind of talk about that experience and your growth as a football player.
We made it to the state game, and we didn't quite finish. But, experiences like that grow people. So, I just got to mature and, grow and see what I got to do better. So when we get to state this year, we don't have those same mistakes that we made in the game. So that's what I was.
Yeah, you guys got 10 starters back on defense, 3 or 4 Power 4 players, prospects. If we turned on the huddle, for the fans that haven't seen you, if we turned on your huddle, describe yourself as a player.
I'll say smooth, slippery, relentless effort type of guy.
Yeah, I notice your motor, and everybody here in the athletic period talked about your motor and kind of how you attack every day. Is that a mindset? Is that just who you've always been with whatever you did, whether it was soccer, whether it was hoops, or whatever you always played?
Yeah, that was quite a mindset for me. My parents installed that into me, and I can't fake it. It's just me now, and that's just how how I operate. So it's a mindset.
What do you need to get better at as a player? What are some areas you're focusing on?
I'll say to be able to cover more and better, and being able to set the edge, on those big tackles. I say, that's my strong point, and that's what I'm, trying to get better at, and that's what I've been locking in on this off season. When
you talk to college coaches or people you trust, kind of what do people think? Do they see you as a 245, 250-pound player once you kind of maximize your frame? Do people have college coaches talk to you about that?
Yes, sir. They see me as, a 240-pound, guy that has the ability to cover in space and, to get off the edge. So, yeah, 240, 245 type of guy.
What is it you love most about football?
Just the mindset it brings to you and the type of life it can create for you. Football players go through a lot of adversity every day, and it's just, it builds you as a person for the real world. So, that's really what I love the most about it.
Do you remember the first time, how old were you the first time you played football?
I was 7.
What was your first thought? Do you remember what your reaction was to football?
Man, I'm ready to go home. It was hot outside. I wasn't that good, and we had players that was playing since they were 4 years old. Yeah. And they were just much better than me, and I didn't really want to play, but my uncle, he kept me out there, kept me playing, and when I was good at 7 actually. Yeah. After my first game, I was actually pretty good. But I was crying those first practices because I didn't want to play. And it's just been history since then.
What position did you first play?
I played defensive end and I played tackle.
So you've always played kind of that edge position growing up?
Yes, sir.
What about like in middle school football? What positions did you play?
I kind of moved away from the edge position. I played running back, and I was more of an offensive player, but I still played defensive end too. But it was just like offense was my strong suit in middle school.
What did you like about being a defensive player?
You don't have to depend on nobody to get you the ball. You can go, take the ball yourself. Like getting off the edge, I don't have to depend on the linebacker, to go get the quarterback. I can just go do that myself. So that's what I like most about defense.
So we're going to hit into recruiting now, and we'll get to Texas obviously a little later. Who was your first offer? Do you remember who the first school was to offer you?
Alabama State, HBCU.
When was that?
My freshman year, spring, I think.
Okay.
Summertime.
When was the first offer you said, ooh, that's interesting?
My third offer, Ole Miss.
Okay.
I got that right after FAMU. That was my first SEC, so I mean, that was the big one. So I was like, blown away a little bit.
When did you first realize you were going to had the ability to be a national recruit?
I'll say going into my 10th grade year.
Okay.
That was the season. I felt like I was doing the most, but my freshman, I had a pretty good season. But my sophomore year, I was just being me, and I was taking over how I was supposed to. So I mean, I felt it right then that I can be a national guy. So yeah.
A lot comes with that. Before I ask you the next pieces of recruiting, a lot comes with that. You just start getting a lot of attention, social media, whatnot. How do you manage it all at a young age? I mean, how do you keep your head straight and say, okay, the football is why I'm getting here, and I got to stay focused on what I'm doing?
It's not that hard, honestly. You just got to have the right mindset. Like I was saying, discipline. I mean, you just got to, lock in and stay on the main course. That's what I say. The followers and the fame it's pretty good once you get it, but it's like, what's the main goal of the NFL? So, I mean, if you think about that every day, it should be pretty easy, to stay focused.
Totally agree with you. That's a good mindset. So Ole Miss was your first big offer. When did Alabama offer you? Because for those that don't know, he's been committed to Alabama for since July of 24?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When did Alabama offer you?
You just said it. July. My freshman summer.
Okay.
Right after my freshman season, my freshman summer. They offered me. Then I think. No, I'm mistaken. I think it was my freshman spring. I think.
Yeah.
They offered me then, and then it rolled over into the summertime.
So was that before Coach Saban retired when they offered you, or was it after?
I think it was a little bit after.
Okay.
A little bit after he retired.
Okay. And obviously you've been committed to Bama for a while. For the people that don't know, tell people your official visits coming up in June.
I have Florida State, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Auburn.
Yeah, those will be your 5. And you have 3 of them set right now, I think it is. Mm-hmm. So it's A&M's June 5th, Texas is the 12th, and Alabama's the 19th. Yeah. All right, so let's go through those schools. So Texas A&M, you've been there unofficially, I think, right? Have you been there? Okay, what are your thoughts on A&M?
Great school, great coaches. They use their guys the right way. The Cassius Howard guy, he's a great player, and I like the way they use him. They got a great program overall. Just the background of the program is pretty good.
Yeah, and then I'll ask you about Texas last, but Alabama, obviously, growing up here in the Mobile area, you watch Alabama win a lot of games, a lot of championships. Your thoughts on Bama?
Like you said, I watched them win a lot of games and championships since I was young, and it was just like a dream to always play for Bama, because I'm from here, and most guys that I knew growing up always went to Bama. So it was just a dream just to watch or even play for them. So
who are some of those guys that went always with the Bama that maybe you followed?
Julio, I liked Julio Jones a lot, even though I was just being born when he got to Bama.
Yeah.
Like, as I grew up, started watching, and I was like, oh man. Yeah.
And he's not far from here either.
Yeah. Julio Jones, Ryan Williams kind of motivate me, even though he played receiver. Deontay Lawson, he's from Mobile too.
Yeah.
Malachi Moore, he's not too far. I say those type of guys. I mean, just great people. Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, those guys too.
Yeah.
I mean, they was great players.
So who are you closest with on the Alabama staff now?
Coach Robinson, Christian Robinson.
Yeah.
The edge coach. We talk a lot. Yeah, we talk almost probably every day. So that's one I'm closest with.
So Texas, you've scheduled an official visit there, but I don't think you've ever been on campus, correct? So who is it you talked to at Texas, and kind of what led you to set up an official visit there?
Coach Clark, and doing my background check on him. You know, he sent a lot of edge guys to the NFL, and that's the main goal for me. So Coach Clark, a great coach, and I just got to get the chance to get up there and see, what Texas is all about. And also watching Colin Simmons, the way he get off the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Clark got to have something to do with that. So, I mean, being coached by Coach Clark would be a great move. So that's the reason I'm getting up to Texas.
And what are the chances you get up there in the spring before that official visit?
The chances are high. I just got to, check my schedule and see with Coach May and see what all I got. And we actually talked about it too, getting up there during the springtime. I think I'm actually going to be up there. So, we're just going to have to check on that.
And you mentioned you had a Zoom call before you started the video with Coach Sark. What was that Zoom call like? What did he have to say to you?
Coach Stark said some great things, told me to keep working and, just giving me words of encouragement. He wanted me to get up there too, getting to know me and stuff, and he wanted me to keep coming around Texas as I am. And it was a great overall conversation.
Do you hear, obviously your school, your football team, is Texas mentioned more now there in the SEC? I mean, when you guys talk about schools and everything?
Yeah, Texas most definitely. The SEC is the big spot to play at, so I mean, of course, and then, they are a great team too, so Texas is always going to be mentioned in every conversation.
When's the last time you were at Bama for an unofficial?
When was the last time I was at Bama? If I'm not mistaken, I think it was at least a month or 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're more their junior day type.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're did I hear right? You're about a 4.0 student, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is a football and academics decision, right?
Right, yeah.
So do you have any interest what you want to study, and how's that going to play into any decisions you make in terms of that final decision on a college?
I do have a few options on what I want to study. I want to take the business route or sports medicine, just to get to know more about my body. And it's going to play a big role in where I go, but I mainly, want to get to the football side. But, the studying part, that's going to be there too. That's a big, because football ain't going to last forever. So, that's going to play a big role in where I go. But, I say the business or sports medicine is probably my top two.
When as you get closer to this decision, what are you looking for in a school or football program, and then what are going to be some of your determining factors on where you ultimately end up?
What I'm looking for is a great coach, a position edge coach. That's what I'm looking for, a great edge coach. A great head coach too, and the defense that just fits me are the main things that I'm looking for. And the factors are, like I said, just a great head coach and an edge coach.
So you said a scheme that kind of fits you.
Mm-hmm.
What are people telling you they're recruiting at? Because edge is kind of broad, right? You can be a stand-up backer.
Yeah.
You can have a hand in the dirt type of players. Well, what are colleges telling you? What is Texas telling you?
Like a stand-up backer. They don't really see me too much having my hand in the dirt.
Right.
Just off my size and versatility. They see me as a zone coverage type of guy. Get off the edge, sit the edge a little bit, and that's what they see me as. And if I got to put my hand in the dirt, a few plays, that's cool too. So yeah.
How many schools are you still talking to?
I talked to at least, I'd say, seven or 8 schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are those?
Alabama, Texas A&M, Florida State, Auburn. Is that 5?
Yeah.
I talked to South Carolina a little bit. Who else do I talk to? Ole Miss. And there's one more. I can't get that last one.
No. All right, so let me ask you this. There's a lot of guys your age coming up now, they don't watch a lot of like full football games, right? You're on social media, you watch highlights, you go to YouTube, maybe you watch extended highlights. Yeah. How much ball do you watch?
Honestly, with the time that we have,
right,
I probably watch the highlights too.
Yeah.
I mean, the games, it'd be cool to watch the games, but it's like the highlights just be right there.
Yeah.
And I'll probably just watch that too.
Who are some players you study now?
Colin Simmons, the college players, Colin Simmons, Dylan Stewart. Those two mainly because they so young.
Right.
And that's what I want to be like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those two are the main two. And I watch a few older guys, but I just won't really home into them. But those two probably the two that I watch mostly in college. And in the NFL, I like watching Brian Burns, Nick Bonito for Denver Broncos, great player. Gotta watch Myles Garrett, even though he big and had the same body type, I still gotta watch him. And yeah, those are the guys that I watch, I'll say. And
so, last couple of questions. Thank you again for taking the time. When you're not playing football, when you're not working out, what are your interests? What do you do? Where do people find you? What's your go-to TV shows? What do you do?
My go-to TV shows, I'll probably say, if I'm at my grandma's house, I like watch SpongeBob. Yeah. I get on YouTube and watch SpongeBob. And Gravity Falls, you know about Gravity Falls?
No.
It's a Disney show, Gravity Falls. You know, and when I'm not playing football, I'm probably spending time with my family, hanging with my little brother or something like that. You know, we outside playing basketball. Like sports always gonna be, you know, in the mix when I'm not playing football.
Right.
It's always gonna be something competitive that I'm doing. And I'm actually getting into golf too with Coach Jack. He the golf coach right now.
Isaac McNeil's playing golf this year, right?
Yeah, he playing golf too. Yeah.
Are you playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We both playing. We actually got a match coming up. I don't know when, but yeah, that's probably.
How hard is golf?
Man, I'm not even good. I'm not good at it yet.
It's the most technical sport.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Yeah. Takes years to get good.
Yeah. That's what Coach Jack was telling me. He was like, the retired players, that's what they do when they done.
They need that challenge. Yeah. That mental challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What and last thing, when do you kind of want to have that decision? That final decision?
I'll say right before my season starts or heading towards the end. Yeah. Because I don't want to go into the season, worrying about where I want to go. Yeah. So right before or like right in the middle, I want to get it done right there. When you sit down to make that, say this is a table right here. You sit down to make that decision. Who's at that table with you? Who's going to be part of that decision for you? Texas A&M. Sorry, I meant people. Oh, people. Your circle. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're good. My mom, my dad, my uncle, and Coach May. I'll say those four. What in terms of your mom and dad? When you guys talk about this, do they care about close to home? Anything? What are they kind of looking for their son? They just looking for the best fit for me, and the coaching. The coaches, like I said, they want the best coaches for me, and just the best staff. I'll say they don't want me to go, to a place where I'm not comfortable at, or where I have to keep calling them saying, I want to come home, which is not going to be a problem. But I say they want the best fit for me and to to be comfortable. That's what I say. And the academic side, my mom wants that also. Yeah, can't forget about that. She gonna want the best academics for me too. And tutors and all that. All right. Well, thank you very much for taking this about 20 minutes and talking with On Texas Football. We'll see you around when you make those official visit to Texas. Thanks for the time today and best of luck. I got you. No problem. Thank you. Gerry Hamilton of On Texas Football at Troup County High School in LaGrange, Georgia, talking with Jeremiah Culpepper, one of the top linebackers in the country in the 2027 class. First off, Jeremiah, first thing I want to talk to you about is Texas fans get familiar with you.
and you're going to officially visit Texas, obviously, in June. But let's talk about your background in football. So kind of when did you start playing football, and what were kind of your first memories of football?
I started playing football when I was 5, and my first memories, I didn't start playing linebacker till I was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So, that's when we started winning championships and stuff. When I was 5, I started off playing center.
Yeah, yeah. And so now let's talk about this year, because you've gained what, 20 pounds, 25 pounds since the start of the season. So update people, like when fan bases watch your huddle, you're like what, 180, 183 pounds this season. Kind of where are you at now?
I was 183 pounds to like 185 during the season, and I'm 207 now.
Yeah, and so kind of is that just, you think, just natural growth for you, weight room, kind of combination, everything, eating better? What is it?
It's a mix of everything. You
Yeah.
gotta eat, you gotta drink your protein after you work out. So lifting weights and stuff, it packs on evenly.
So how excited does that make you when you think, okay, that was me at 183 pounds on huddle tape. I'm going to be 210-ish next year. How excited does that make you as a linebacker that carry that much more weight and retain all that athleticism?
It made me feel great because I know my performance is going to be 10 times better.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you played a lot of, for those that don't know, defensive end early in high school career, and then transitioned to linebacker this year. What was that transition like for you?
It wasn't bad because I was used to playing linebacker, but you know they needed me in a certain spot due to the way people had to be moved around. So I had to go to my spot to linebacker and perform at my best and my highest.
Yeah. If we put your tape on, if we put your huddle tape on right now, what would you say are your strengths as a player?
My explosiveness, my ability to bend and sack the quarterback and get to the ball.
Where do you need to improve the most?
Footwork, my strength and my size, and I could most definitely be a lot faster.
You're a guy that will probably make some of the checks and calls, right?
Right.
What all comes with that as a linebacker? I mean, you have to be dialed in. You have to be you have to be very attentive. You have to listen. You have to be in the film study. What all goes into that? Because that's a different task as you get older as a football player.
It's the same as being the quarterback of the offense. You're the quarterback of the defense. You got to take lead and be an example, and you got to take control over the whole game.
Yeah. And so, growing up, other sports you played?
I tried baseball and basketball, but I love contact, so I couldn't thrive in those sports like I do in football.
So that's what led me to the next question. What do you love most about the game?
Contact and being able to get discipline and learn from it to move you on deeper into life.
So a lot of when I talk to guys your age nowadays, you guys grow up on social media and you grew up watching clips of games, and you can go to YouTube and watch condensed highlights, right? How much ball do you watch?
I watch a good bit. I watch mostly highlights. Sometimes I might, I got to tune into a Texas game, but most of the time I watch clips and highlights. So Brian Murphy, Overshawn, and B. John Robinson, and Michael Parsons, and people like that.
Yeah. So who was your first offer?
Ole Miss.
When was that?
I can't even remember the date, but it was sometime in October, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so you went into your junior season with no offers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how many do you have now, for people that don't know?
31.
Okay, so January was pretty crazy for you.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So you look back on that last month, what was it like?
It was a lot of. It was a lot at one time, honestly. And I enjoyed it, of course, because it's about getting another chance to play at the next level. But it was eventful. I was curious on who was really interested in me and who wasn't.
Yeah. So 31 schools have offered. How many schools are you still talking to right now?
At least 20 of them.
Okay. Wow. So you're busy all the time then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And for those that don't know, what official visits do you have set up?
Texas, Auburn, and Virginia Tech.
Okay, what are the dates on those?
I know Texas is June 12th through the 14th.
Yeah.
Auburn should be the 18th through the 21st.
Yeah.
And Virginia Tech should be the 5th through the 7th.
Okay. Are you going to set up any more OVs?
Yes, sir, of course.
Who else is in contention?
I can't tell you right now off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's go through those schools. Let's start with Virginia Tech. Obviously James Franklin, the new head coach there. Kind of what your thoughts are on Virginia Tech?
Oh, I think they have a great program. They're going to be building something great going into the next season, and they should be at least a top 25 team.
Have you ever been there for an unofficial visit?
Not yet, but I'm going to in March.
You are in March? Okay. And then Auburn, obviously closest to home, just down the road here. Your thoughts on Auburn, DJ Durkin?
Oh, great. He got high energy. He's a great coach. Auburn should be building something great coming to the next coming years and should be able to be a top 25 team.
Now, how many games at Auburn? You've been on campus there a few times, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when's the last time?
The Iron Bowl, Alabama versus Auburn.
What was that like? Was that the first time you've been to the Iron Bowl?
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
It was great. It was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it was cold though.
Yeah. What do you notice when you're at a college game like that? What do you notice? What do you kind of grabs your eye or attention?
The amount of fans they really got. Like it's a lot of fans. It's deeper when it comes to college football.
Yeah. And kind of how often do you talk to DJ Durkin?
I talk to him a lot. So it was like once a week, at least once a week.
What does he say he likes about your game?
He likes everything. My speed, my ability to run, hit, and chase the ball down.
Yep. And then obviously Texas, you're making an official visit there to 12th through 14th. Who is it that you talk to the most at Texas?
Coach Nansen.
And Nansen? Okay. And Will Muschamp a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What has Coach Muschamp told you he likes about you?
Me being able to run, hit, and get to the ball as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of my thing.
Yeah, it is. Have you ever been to Texas before?
No, sir. I will be in March.
You're going to go there in March?
First time will be in March. I think it's 12th through the 14th of March.
Okay. Is that during spring break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not spring break, but.
Okay. So you're going 12th through the 14th?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Okay. And when you kind of think of Texas, kind of what are your thoughts?
Texas is a great school. I love Texas.
So you seem like a guy that's going to be a football and academic decision. Okay, do you kind of know what you want to study yet? Do you have an idea?
Yes, sir. I want to study in business.
Okay. And anybody in your family tree to play college sports anywhere?
No, sir.
You'll be the first.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How cool is that for you? And I want to ask you this. So obviously, you'll probably commit before your senior year, correct?
Right.
Kind of what are the things you're going to be looking for when you get on campuses for the, coming up in March and then junior OVs?
Just the culture and the people, being able to see who's in the building every day, the energy that they give every day.
Yeah. And are you a guy that when all these college coaches came through that you kind of just sit and listen? Did you ever have questions for them, or are you more in listening and learning phase?
Most definitely still listening and learning.
Yeah.
I let my dad ask a lot of questions because I was talking to him about a lot of stuff, so he more understanding on what questions should be asked, and I'm still learning that part. Yeah.
What are a couple of those questions that you want to have answered as you go through this process?
Most definitely the academics part, because at the end of the day, after football is over, you got to have something.
Yeah.
So the academics, who is really in the building every day, like the program itself, when it comes to like the eating, how everything is set up, everything.
Yeah. Okay. And what is your ultimate goal in football?
To be the best that I can be.
Yeah. Is that ultimate goal NFL?
Yeah, most definitely. I most definitely want to be able to go to the NFL, but be the best that I can be of my ability and show a lot of people that hard work does pay off. So
as a player here, you're in a class that's going to have 5, 6, 7 Division I players from what I saw today. You guys lost, I think, to Cairo last year.
Yes, sir.
99% of teams, their season ends in disappointment, right?
Right.
So kind of how are you guys attacking this offseason? Because y'all put in some work today and with that goal of getting to that state, winning that first state championship at Troup County next year, potentially.
Being able to get 1% better every day.
Yeah.
That's the end goal, being able to get 1% better. Everybody does what they need to do to get better.
Yeah. All right, that is Jeremiah Culpepper, Troup County. Thanks very much for joining On Texas Football today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.